I'm James.
I'm Paul. This is Chompers.
And this is
And this is look at her. This is the Great American RV Trip 2021. And this time we are doing something a little bit different.
Yeah, another travelogue.
We're doing a travelogue about things to see along the way. And this time we were traveling westward from I-44 in St. Louis all the way to Albuquerque on I-40, which just so happens to parallel Route 66.
So we went really basically from St. Louis to Albuquerque, and now and again we got off on Route 66, of which there are stretches that you can get on, and saw some of the quirky sights from the era, and also some oddities, we call them, on the road.
So if you don't know about Route 66, it's called the Mother Road. It starts in Chicago, or it started in Chicago, and went all the way to LA. And it was really the first cross-country road, and they call it America's Main Street.
It got popular in the 30s.
Yeah, mostly for
20s.
tourism. And then during the Dust Bowl, it became a migration path for a lot of farmers who were no longer able to farm because of drought conditions, and they used it to travel westward to California.
Because of the fact that they could go long distances, it also increased trucking and shipping of things. So not just train travel for shipments, but trucks.
One of the interesting things we learned while traveling Route 66 was that in those days, cars could only go about 70 miles without getting refueled.
Right.
So that's why a lot of the relics along Route 66 are gas stations, because about every 70 or so, 50, 70 miles was a little gas station.
And with gas stations, that brought diners.
Lodging and things like that.
Yeah.
Some of these things are still on the route, and that's what makes this drive interesting. Pulling off the highway and seeing some of what remains of Route 66.
So we joined Route 66, or basically I-44, in St. Louis, and the St. Louis Arch is a big site there, and the interstate goes right by it. Beautiful shot of downtown.
Yeah, it is called the Gateway to the West. From there, we traveled on I-44 and stopped at what was and is still a popular place along the highway and Route 66, Meramec Caverns. Meramec Caverns is a huge underground cave that has been a popular tourist destination for, I don't know. Let's just say this. My mom remembers going and seeing it 70 years ago.
I think Jesse James and his brother hung out there.
Yeah, they did. There's a little bit of, there's some things of the history of Jesse James hiding out there. So that was a very cool place to see.
Yeah. And we went from there to Cuba?
Yeah, Cuba, Missouri.
Cuba, Missouri.
The town of murals. There are lots of murals painted about Route 66 in the heyday of Route 66, along with a very greatly, not even restored, I think they just maintained, little motel called the Wagon Wheel Hotel, which was very cool.
From there, we went to the city of Uranus. So,
Yes.
you're laughing, we're laughing, but I will tell you, they take the joke of Uranus to the hilt.
Yes.
With every pun intended, you're seeing a few here. So thanks for visiting Uranus.
It's the Uranus Fudge Shop, and they say they pack great fudge
Yes. So
in Uranus.
they tongue-in-cheek Uranus. So enjoy that.
That was a fun stop. After that, we moved on to Oklahoma and stopped in Oklahoma City. And this is where Route 66 is kind of hiding in plain sight. Right in the middle of downtown Oklahoma is an old, what is Brahms? It's an old dairy or
Brahms was
plant?
a milk bottling plant in this tiny little building, and that's where they began. And they would, that's where they bottled milk, and you came and got your milk.
From Oklahoma City, we went to
Yukon, Oklahoma, and the Yukon Flour Mill, which is a beautiful old big mill with a huge mural on the side, and I think it was a processing plant, and now they've got 3 or 4 in the area. This one I'm not sure is used any longer. And then a little bit further down the road was Lucille's Roadhouse.
a mainstay on Route 66 for
and
forever.
It's very fun, kitschy interior, very colorful. Great food, by the way. Lots of bottomless coffee and lots of endless hash browns and bacon and all that kind of. If you want to stop for a nice lunch. But the Roadhouse was also a famous gas station, now cafe, and site to see. So that was very cool.
And after that, we went to the Route 66 Museum. Now, we discovered that there are lots of Route 66 museums along the old Route 66. This is the Oklahoma official Route 66 Museum, and it's well done because it goes room by room, decade by decade, on what happened with the road, the history of it, how it was built, what it was used for, and finally the decline and then the kind of the nostalgia behind it. So
Right.
that's probably one of the best educational museums we went into to learn about the
Hitchhiking started on
Route 66.
on Route 66 after the war, for example, for soldiers who were coming back home. Diners, hotels. There was a need now. They needed entertainment on the road. It's got a really fascinating, and like I said before, the shipping. It's got a really fascinating history of how it grew and how it built.
After Oklahoma, we crossed the border into Texas, not very far into Texas, to the town of Shamrock, where we visited the Conoco Shamrock
Oh yeah,
gas station.
Very
This was
cool
cool.
building.
Yeah, this
Very
is
cool
an
building.
original gas station that now the city owns, and it's a history museum, and they've restored it and kept it to be like it was. If it looked familiar to me, I think Disney's probably copied it in a couple of movies.
One of the docents actually in the little museum got married there in 1965, moved to Texas, and now she's back and is a docent.
Yeah.
So that was fun to hear her little story.
We hopped on the highway, and further down the highway is what's called the Leaning Tower of Texas. And this is an old water, what do you call those?
It's a water tower. It's purposefully tilting at about
Tilted.
10 degrees.
It was used to attract people off the road to go to this particular person's gas station and garage, which is now closed, but the Leaning Tower of Texas is still there.
Yeah, exactly.
And finally, a stop that probably one of the most popular stops.
Oh, yeah. Cadillac Ranch.
Yeah, Cadillac Ranch. Right, talk about that Cadillac.
So Cadillac Ranch started as an art project for 3 artists, and it moved once, just a few miles down from where it is now. But they've come to the point now where they're actually selling spray paint as you walk in, so you can spray paint. So it's coats and coats and coats, and you see these layers of sagging. It's latex just sagging on these cars. They have used it in a lot of movies. They have painted it
It's a
rainbow
super-
colors
yeah,
for Pride,
Pride.
June ones, for Black Lives Matter. This past summer, they painted it all black. Of course, you don't see an ounce of black anymore because
it's been
people
painted.
just spray like crazy.
Very cool.
Note to
Very cool
self,
stop.
don't stand upwind
Yes.
of someone spraying.
Yes, there's a certain place that you have to stand to not get sprayed on. Finally, we crossed into New Mexico, and right across New Mexico, on the border of New Mexico and Texas, is Russell's Car Museum. It's
Yeah.
actually a travel stop,
It's free.
but it's a free car museum.
yeah, it's very cool.
And it's a not cars of all different eras. It's free. Did I mention that? And it
And
has
tons of
lots of memorabilia.
Tons of memorabilia from Hollywood of the era, from country music of the era, a lot of kitschy factor, but cars too. So it's actually absolutely worth a stop and a walk through for 30 minutes, 40 minutes.
Further down the road is Tucumcari, New Mexico, and this is quintessential Route 66 Americana. It is almost a city stuck in time with the amount of roadside attractions that were built along Route 66 that still stand today. Some of them have been restored, some of them
Not so restored.
are not so restored and in ruins. Very, very cool. Probably of all the places we traveled on Route 66, it's the most preserved, or most probably representative of what Route 66 was. So we're big fans of Tucumcari. We've stayed there many, many times on road trips.
And now that you've entered New Mexico, you're entering wonderful Mexican food.
Yes,
Lots of
absolutely.
chilies, roasted chilies. Go in the grocery store there. Great
Yeah.
salsas and things to buy.
And the other thing, when you enter the West, New Mexico, Arizona, Western Texas, there are lots of just ruins on the side of Old Route 66. So if you are going to explore, pull off the highway, follow Old Route 66, and check out just some of the old ruins, old gas stations, old houses. That's the true old Route 66 ruins that aren't commercialized.
Right. And it
We-
literally parallels the interstate. You can pop on, pop
off, check
most,
things out.
and many signs telling you how and when and where.
So we made it all the way to Albuquerque on our trip. We, in the past, have done from Albuquerque all the way to California, and I'll put a link to that videos we've done, so you can actually put them all together and see all of Route 66 up to St. Louis that we've done. Very cool, very, very much a piece of Americana that's worth venturing off on any cross-country trip.
And let's face it, that last stretch going to the west, it's a lot of long days and a lot of long driving. So it's really great to break it up, going through the Panhandle, through Oklahoma, through this part of the country. So it's a little bit of a break in entertainment and history as well.
So there's really not a campground to rate, but you want to give it a shot on rating it as a roadside experience
Oh,
if
it's a
you're going to go
roadside
on 40 and 44?
It's a blast. You can take in what you like. You can drive by things. You can go to diners. You can go to little museums. You can go do what you like. So pick and choose what your liking is, and it's there for you.
I would say if you're going to have to drive 40 and 44, double the time you've allotted and take time and check out what remains of Route 66. I think the story and nostalgia is there for you to look at, and as James says, it breaks up the trip.
Yeah, if
and
you're
makes it
looking
interesting.
if you're looking for a rating, I'd definitely give it an 8 because you can find something that you want. Remember,
Yeah.
I don't give 10s because I don't believe in perfection. Otherwise, you have nothing to strive for. So there's my 8. Very
And
high marks.
I would agree with that. I think it's an 8 as far as roadside attractions. As always, you guys, thanks for watching our travel videos. We're almost home.
any
I do have
affirmation?
an affirmation.
Paul's turn for affirmation
Oh, yeah,
today.
it is. Okay. I thought long and hard about this.
Uh-oh.
You know what? Think about this. Even broken crayons color.
There you are.
That's pretty deep, huh?
Yeah.
Broken crayons color.
Stay positive. Keep going. Keep
Absolutely,
traveling.
no matter what.
Like, comment, etc., etc.
Subscribe. And remember, travel safely.
Check out our other videos from our summer RV trip. Take care.
Bye now.
Hey, it's Chompers here. Daddy and Poppy wanted me to remind you to like our videos and subscribe to our channel. That way you'll get notifications. Oh, and comments are fun to read too. Arf!